Hippocrates is remembered today for the aptly named Hippocratic Oath, which medical students recite as they graduate. As you can tell, he is definitely among the big names, often referred to as the father of medicine. But the man himself knew he couldn't cure everything, especially a disease he described as the most considerable of the diseases, which then prevailed, and the only one which proved fatal to many persons. He called it phthisis and consumption, which we now know of as tuberculosis, or TB for short.
In the centuries that followed, TB remained one of, if not the leading cause of death. If the Black Death was an event, TB is like the default feature that's been with us since the start of the game. What complicated treatment further was that we didn't actually know what caused the disease, not until 1865 when Jean-Antoine Villemin, an army doctor, discovered that consumption could be transmitted via inoculation.
The medical establishment of the time believed that consumption and similar maladies were brought on by miasma, or bad air, not by a specific agent as per Villemin's argument. This was simply because the man himself hadn't the means to identify that specific agent. It took almost 2 decades and a certain Robert Koch to pull this off. After some special staining techniques, Koch discovered a rod-shaped organism in his samples, which he called the tuberculosis. While you can still call it Koch's bacillus, Mycobacterium tuberculosis is now the thing.
While TB is rarely good news by any standard, the fact that it is caused by a specific organism opened many doors, among them the possibility of a vaccine and therefore the possibility of eradication. In 1921, Albert Kalmer and Camille Guérin used the cow version of TB to make what we now know of as the BCG vaccine. While the impact on adults remains debatable, BCG definitely helped save millions of children from dying of TB. There are countries where an entire generation of people still share the classic BCG scar. Interestingly enough, the vaccine is also involved in the treatment of bladder cancer, and effectively so.
Obviously, the vaccine was a significant development, but we need a medication that actually treats the condition. In 1943, a team at Rutgers University discovered the compound we're looking for, which they called streptomycin, a nod to its origin. A potent antimicrobial agent, streptomycin is still being used extensively as we speak, but it is no longer a standalone treatment for TB. For one, this drug cannot be easily taken by patients at home, which either led to frequent hospital visits or prolonged stays in special institutions. Even if that was no factor at all, Mycobacterium tuberculosis would eventually just outsmart the medication, showing strong resistance.
Earlier in this video, I told you that Robert Koch had to use special staining for Mycobacterium tuberculosis. This is because the bacteria has a thick wall rich in mycolic acid, which the regular gram stain could not infiltrate. As you can tell, we're looking at the centerpiece of its survival strategy, and so we must have a weapon that targets this exact position. In 1952, after successful testing in the US and Germany, this weapon would be known as soniazid, and over the years, new players like pyrazinamide, ethambutol and rifampicin joined the dream team. This toolbox significantly reduced the global burden, which had already been declining as the television age came around.
That said, we should remain vigilant, because like I said, TB is like the default feature that has been with us since the start of the game. If you live in a developed country like Norway, for example, tuberculosis is largely confined to the history textbook, something you might have crammed for an exam. In places like India, however, phthisis is very much a real thing, not to mention the way our world has become so interconnected. About 2 billion people carry latent TB, which means they are healthy enough to not have full-blown symptoms, but still host the bacteria nonetheless. Clearly, there is a long way to go, but by sharing the knowledge, we are making concrete steps toward eradication. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if so, please leave a like and tell me what you think in the comment section. Thanks for watching.